What's up YouTube? Capital G here talking about the new Juunishishi archetype coming out in Raging Tempest. These are the guys that are basically designed after the Chinese zodiac. I think it is, I guess, comparable to the zodiac we have here in the United States, where depending on what month of the year you're born in, we give you a different sign, like Pisces, or mine is Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, or whatever. And based on your sign, you know, it's supposed to kind of tell what your personality is like, what traits and, you know, things that you have in your personality, or what type of qualities that you may have, what you like, what you don't like. This archetype is kind of interesting. It's level 4, it's XYZ based. All the monsters are Beast Warriors, so obviously you're going to be running probably 3 copies of Tenki in this deck. It's kind of cool because it seems like this deck is like a weird mix between Yang Zings and Starsref. Like, it seems like it's a Hyper XYZ based deck, but at the same time it feels a little bit like Yang Zings, where the monsters that you summon kind of get empowered by the monsters that you use to summon them. For starters, all the XYZs get stats based on the XYZ materials that you have. So like, if you use this guy right here, 1600 attack, and you use this guy right here, 1200 attack, your XYZ monster would have at least a minimum of 2800 attack. But that does mean if you detach these cards as materials, you are weakening your monsters. And they have this weird little mechanic where they can basically all rank up into each other once per turn, as long as you're not using the same card that's, you know, you're not using the same card as material. Like, let's see. So this guy right here is Bullhorn, and this is Tigress, right? So if you exceed in the Bullhorn, you could instantly go into Tigress, like no questions asked, and then you could instantly rank her up into this, and then you could instantly rank him up into this. So it's actually pretty cool because you can just kind of jump around to whatever XYZ you need to activate effects. And then these cards all give your XYZs different abilities as long as you go into a Beast Warrior XYZ. So you can even go into things like Tiger King or Bujin Kagasuchi, and those monsters will get empowered, but you can't go into like Yotopi the Lightning. You're not going to get anything out of that. And again, the entire archetype, not just the level 4s, but the XYZs, they're all like Beast Warriors. So as long as you stay within the Beast Warrior mold, you're going to get some nice little nifty effects of these XYZs. All right, let's go into the archetype. All right, certain effects, guys, I'm not going to read multiple times. Like, I'm not going to say every monster is like level 4, rank 4, because they're all level 4, they're all rank 4. Everything is 4, they're all Earth, they're all Beast Warrior. This effect, I'll just read it once. Once per turn, you can XYZ summon 1 Juunishishi Bullhorn, and this is the card that we're talking about right here, Juunishishi Bullhorn. You can XYZ summon one Juunishishi Bullhorn by using 1 Juunishishi monster you control with a different name as XYZ material. XYZ material is obviously transfer, so like I said, you can use Tigress over here. That's not Tigress. You could use Tigress over here. You could XYZ into her, and then you could instantly slap a Bullhorn on top of her if you just wanted to use Bullhorn's effect, or if you just wanted to have Bullhorn because, I don't know, you like him or something like that. So Bullhorn's real effect is once per turn you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, add 1 Beast Warrior type monster that can be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. That's kind of cool because obviously it tutors the entire archetype Strato style, but it does leave the door open for you to even run some Beast Warriors that are not Juunishishis, as long as they can be normal or set. Things like, I mean, you could even go kind of spicy and throw in some Fire Fist if you want, because you're going to be playing, you know, you're already going to be playing Tenki in this deck, and, you know, the Fire Fist are level 4, so maybe, you know, want to play some Wolf Barks and some Fire Fist. I'm just saying, I don't know if it'll work effectively, but the possibility is there. That's all I'm saying. Next up, we have Juunishishi Tigress right here. This girl, this represents the year that I was born in, the year of the tiger. And her effect is, and by the way, the monsters, I think they want you to summon them in a specific order, because if you see here, she requires 3 level 4s, and like, you know, what's it called? Bullhorn requires 2 level 4s, and this guy right here requires 2 level 4s. So I think they want you to start at Bullhorn and kind of work your way up. But anyways, obviously you could just go, you know, you could summon Bullhorn and go into Tigress. So it's not really that she requires 3 level 4s. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 XYZ one XYZ monster you control and 1 Juunishishi monster in your graveyard. Attach that monster to that XYZ, or to that XYZ monster as XYZ material. To me, this effect doesn't really seem that good. I mean, I guess technically you can swap out your XYZ materials because you have to detach 1 from this. I mean, I guess you can use that to kind of get more attack. Like, you could go Bullhorn into Tigress, right? and you can detach the Bullhorn, because remember, Bullhorn's not giving you any attack because he's question mark, which means he adds 0/0 to her attack. So I guess you could detach Bullhorn and you could get one of your like effect monsters, and you can make her stronger. I guess that kind of works because she can target herself. So I mean, that's kind of cool. And actually, she doesn't even have to target a Juunishishi monster. So if you have a Utopia the Lightning, I guess you can just put your Utopias, or actually you can just put like your Juunishishis back on that to activate it more times. I mean, I guess I'm just talking, possibilities here. And then there's the last XC. This, I don't know if this is their boss monster, but his third effect leads me to believe that he is like the ace monster of the deck. I don't really know how often it's going to happen, but whatever. And this guy requires 5 level 4s, but you're not going to summon it like that. You're probably just going to summon it with Tigress or Bullhorn or something. All right, effect number 2. This guy can attack directly. Effect number 3, while this card has 12 or more XC materials, damn, that's a lot. That reminds me of a Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief, and it reminds me of Ptolemaeus and those effects that never happened. All right, this card with 12 materials, if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can send all cards on your opponent's or in your opponent's hand and their side of the field to the graveyard, and then change this card to defense position. I mean, ideally, as long as you don't get solemned, you should win, right? Like, that just seems completely devastating. But I mean, damn, guys, that's a lot of materials. And that's how I know that Konami is, like, that's how I know they want you to rank up these things immediately. They want you to go, like, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So that you get a bunch of materials instantly, because I think they want you to, I don't know if that's supposed to be the win condition of this deck, but, I mean, they want you to get 12 materials somehow. So that seems like that seems like the most effective way so far. And now we're looking at the effect monsters. All right, they're all level 4, they're all Earth, they're all Beast Warrior. When you normal summon, this is Momorat, the Year of the Rat right here. Oh, it's a cute little grill, okay. So we got 2 girls so far. I think there's 3 girls in total. I think the rabbit's going to be a girl as well. When this card is normal summon, you can send 1 Juunishishi card from your deck to the graveyard. This makes me believe that the spells and traps want to be sent to the graveyard, because I don't know about the monsters, but this makes me believe that the spells and traps want to be sent to the graveyard. I do not like the fact that she has 0/0 stat line, because you have to remember the XCs, if you XC with her, they'll gain 0/0. So what the fuck? You want your XCs to be able to attack over anything. And this is the empowering effect that I was talking about. As long as you use her as an XC material for a Beast Warrior XC monster, they will gain this effect. It's much like a Star Drawing or Star Seraph Scepter. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XC material from this card, special summon 1 Momorat from your hand or your deck. So if you have her as a material for a Beast Warrior, then and it can be like a Kagasuchi or whatever, you can detach a material and then you can summon another one of her from your deck or your hand, ideally from your deck. But I still don't like her. She could have just had like 500 attack and defense. We've got Juunishishi Thoroughblade, which is the Year of the Horse. Thoroughblade, thoroughbred, like a horse, and plus you can see the horse right here on his sword. All right, this guy, his effect is during, no, I was about to skip his effect. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can discard 1 Juunishishi monster, and if you do draw 1 card, I'm down with that. Anytime I can just get rid of a dead card in my hand and draw, like, that's cool. Let me draw my Regeki, let me draw my Solemns, let me draw my other cards that I might need. All right, this card, the empowering effect, I guess that's what I'm just going to call it. I'm going to call it the empowering effect. The empowering effect of this guy, he just gets piercing damage to that monster. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. And when I say this card, I'm talking about the XC monster. So this guy gives any XC Beast Warrior monster piercing damage, which it's not bad having a Kagasuchi with piercing damage, having a Fire King or what's it called? A Tiger King. My goodness, I can't even speak. Having a Tiger King with, maybe some piercing damage is not terrible. Then we've got Juunishishi Viper. I think that this is a guy, but you know how Japan is if you watch anime. It kind of looks like a girl, but I'm pretty sure this one's a guy. Maybe it's just like kind of an emo guy. This is the Viper. It says during your player's turn, you can target a Beast Warrior type XC monster you control. Attach this card from your hand or field as XC material. Again, I think that this is how you're supposed to get the 12 materials. It would have been so much better if it could equip from the graveyard. That would have been so much nicer because I don't want to give up real advantage. And then this one, The empowering effect is after damage calculation, in which this card being the XC, battled an opponent's monster, banish that opponent's monster. So it doesn't allow your opponent to basically stall out with things like Dante or, you know, things like Fright for Kraken or whatnot. Then we've got two more monsters, two Juunishishi monsters that were not in the picture here, because obviously it shows a bunch of Juunishishi monsters. I think it's crazy that they're getting this many cards in one set. Like, that's a lot of freaking cards. We got Juunishishi Ram and Juunishishi Rabina. I'm pretty sure the rabbit is going to be a girl. Like, it just, not trying to be sexist or anything. If I was going to make a bunny, or a rabbit, I would probably make that one a girl. I'd probably make it pink too. Maybe that's sexist. This one is a 400 attack and 2000 defense. Nice butt on the ram. If this card, and these are both recruiters, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Juunishishi monster except itself, special summon it. Okay, so it replaces itself with a card from the graveyard as long as it's not itself. An XC monster, or actually here's the empowering effect. When an opponent's trap effect activates, when an opponent's trap effect that targets is activated, you can detach one XC material from it, negate that activation. So basically, if your opponent activates a trap that targets something on the field, then you can just detach, which at first I thought, evac, Ring of Destruction, that's, I don't really know about that, man. But you do have to think about this. Think about spell and trap removal. Think about things like Typhoon and Dust Tornado. Does anybody really run Dust Tornado anymore? But if there are any traps out there, you know, Ring of Destruction, evac might come back, see a little bit of play with Karen and Dark Destroyer not being so important in the meta, so it's not terrible. And then there's Juunishishi Rabina. This one is 800. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Juunishishi card in your graveyard, except itself, add that to your hand. This is kind of cool because it gets back your spell or traps. I really hope the spells and traps are good, because as of right now, I believe it's 2 spells and 1 trap, so there's a lot of cards coming out. And then this empowering effect is when an opponent's spell card that targets is activated, detach 1 XC material from it, negate that activation. She, to me, seems like, honestly, she could be the best one, because think about how many spells in the game target. Like, not that many people are playing Book of Moon or Mind Control, whatever, but think about things like Twin Twister and Backward Destruct, like Mystical Space Typhoon, and think about how many spells in the game just target. Like, maybe Cosmic Cyclone, like a lot of spell and trap removal. You don't really have Heavy Storm or anything, so most of your spell and trap removal targets in any type of equip cards. Actually, this one can take out Fogblade. That's kind of cool. So I think these 2 cards are actually pretty decent, man. Being able to put this on a Kagesuchi and, potentially negate things like Twin Twister seems pretty damn powerful, you guys. So let me know what you guys think of this archetype so far. It's really hard for me to say how good it's going to be because we don't know the 2 spells and the trap. Like, I gotta contextualize this by knowing all the cards first. But I will say this: it is interesting. I mean, just look how many cards. This is 4, 9, 12 cards coming out of one set. I mean, what did Grados get? Like, Grados launched for like what, 5 cards? Burning Abyss launched for like 5 cards. So this archetype could be launching, guys, with 14 cards because remember, Ram is not in the picture and neither is the Rabina. So this could be a 14 card archetype right out the gate. Let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you have not already.